sold as a wife for $4 to pay a debt. But the cowboy turned a forced marriage into freedom. The sun was already high in the sky when Martha's family woke up to another day that felt heavier than the last. The small farmhouse was quiet, but the silence was not peaceful. It was the kind of silence that comes from people who are tired of hoping. Martha could hear her mother moving softly in the kitchen, trying not to wake anyone. Her father was already outside, walking slowly along the fence, staring at the dry land like it was an enemy he could not beat. Martha was only 19, but she felt older than her age. She had seen too many hard days. She had watched her father work from dawn to dusk, trying to make the land produce enough food. She had watched her mother sew and mend clothes, saving every piece of cloth. She had seen her brothers leave one by one, hoping to find work in towns far away. But now the family was left with a farm that did not give enough, and bills that kept growing like a storm cloud. In the corner of the room, there was a stack of papers tied with a string. The papers were letters from the bank and from people who had lent money. Martha had learned to read the words on those papers without reading them at all. She knew what they meant. They meant that her family owed money and had no way to pay it back. One morning, her father called her into the kitchen. His face was tired, but there was something else in his eyes, something Martha had not seen before. It was fear. Not the kind of fear that comes from a wild animal or a storm. This was a quiet fear, the kind that comes from knowing you have failed someone you love. "Martha," he said softly, "come sit with me." Martha sat at the table, her hands folded in her lap. She could smell the coffee her mother had made, but she didn't feel hungry. Her father placed the papers on the table and pushed them toward her. She looked at them and felt her heart beat faster. "These people are not giving us more time," her father said. "They want their money. They want it now." Martha tried to speak, but her voice came out small. "What will we do, Papa?" Her father sighed. He looked down at his hands, rough and calloused from years of work. "I don't know," he said. "I have tried everything. I sold some of the cows. I tried to trade our tools, but it is not enough. They keep coming." Her mother entered the room and sat beside her father. She did not say anything. Her eyes were red from crying. Martha could feel her mother's love, but she could also feel her mother's helplessness. Martha knew her mother was trying to be strong, but she was also tired of being strong. The family talked quietly, trying to find a solution. They spoke about selling the farm, but they knew no one would pay enough. They spoke about moving to the city, but they had no money for travel or for a new life. They spoke about working harder, but the land was dry and the weather was unpredictable. Then her father said something that made Martha's stomach drop. "There is one option," he said. Martha looked at him, confused. "What option?" Her father hesitated. He looked at her mother as if asking for permission to speak. Her mother nodded slowly, as if she already knew what he was going to say.
"Martha," he said, "there is a man in town who owes me a favor.
He says he can help. He says he can pay the debt if we agree to a marriage." Martha felt the world tilt. She stared at her father, not understanding. "A marriage?" she repeated. "To whom?" Her father swallowed. "To a man named Caleb. He is a rancher. He owns land and cattle. He is strong and respected. He says he will pay what we owe if you marry him." Martha's heart pounded so hard she thought it might break through her chest. She tried to find the words to say, but her mind was blank. She had heard about arranged marriages and stories, but she never thought it would happen to her. She never thought her life would be decided like a trade. Her mother reached for her hand. Her touch was gentle, but it felt like a warning. Martha looked at her mother and saw the pain in her eyes. She knew her mother was thinking of her future, of her safety, of the life she wanted for her daughter. But Martha also saw the sadness, because her mother knew this was not the life she had imagined for her. "Martha," her mother whispered, "we cannot keep living like this. We are losing everything. We will lose the farm, the house, even the little we have left. This is the only way to save us." Martha's throat tightened. She wanted to scream, to say no, to run away, but she knew running would not help. She knew there was no place to go. She knew her family needed her. She knew her father was not cruel. He was desperate. He was a man who had tried everything and still could not save his family. Martha looked at the papers again. She saw the numbers, the dates, the warnings. She saw her father's name written on the pages like a sentence. She felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. "I don't want to be sold," she said softly. "I don't want to be a thing." Her father's eyes filled with tears. "You are not a thing, Martha. You are my daughter. But I cannot see you and your mother and brothers suffer. I cannot see us lose everything. I am sorry. I am so sorry." Martha stood up abruptly. She needed air. She needed to feel the wind on her face. She walked outside and stood in the yard. The sun was hot, and the land looked dry and tired. She looked at the horizon, where the town was visible in the distance. She imagined the people there, living their lives without knowing how close her family was to losing everything. She thought about Caleb, the rancher. She had never met him. She only knew his name and his reputation. People said he was tough, a man who did not speak much. People said he was rich. People said he was respected. But no one said he was kind. Martha tried to imagine what her life would be like. She tried to imagine living on a ranch, doing work she had never done. She tried to imagine living with a man she did not love. She tried to imagine leaving her family behind. The thought made her heart ache. As the days passed, her father went to town to talk to Caleb. Martha stayed home, waiting. She helped her mother with chores, trying to keep her mind busy. She tried to act normal, but inside she was afraid. She felt like a bird trapped in a cage. One evening, her father returned home with a heavy expression. He sat down at the table and looked at Martha. "It is done," he said. Martha's stomach turned. "Done?" Her father nodded. Caleb agreed. "He will pay the debt. He will take care of the farm. But you must go to his ranch." Martha felt tears rise in her eyes. She did not cry, though. She did not want her father to see her weakness. She wanted to be strong for him, even if she was breaking inside. "Where is the ranch?" she asked. Her father sighed. "It is far. You will need to travel tomorrow." Martha looked at her mother. Her mother looked back, her face calm, but her eyes were filled with sorrow. Martha understood then that her mother had already accepted it. She understood that her mother had already said goodbye in her heart. That night, Martha packed a small bag. She took a few clothes, a piece of bread, and a small blanket. She did not take much because there was not much to take. She took only what she could carry. She tried to keep her hands steady, but her fingers shook. As she prepared to leave, her father came to her. He placed his hand on her shoulder. His touch was rough, but it was full of love. "Martha," he said, "I wish I could protect you. I wish I could give you a different life. But I cannot. I am sorry." Martha looked at him. She saw the sadness in his eyes. She saw the love. She saw the guilt. She wanted to say something that would make him feel better. She wanted to tell him she forgave him. but she did not know how to speak. She hugged him tightly. She felt his body tremble. She felt his heart beating fast. She knew he was afraid too. He was afraid of what would happen to her. He was afraid of what people would say. He was afraid of the future. Martha walked out of the house. She looked back one last time. She saw her mother standing in the doorway watching her. Her mother waved, but she did not smile. Martha waved back, then turned and walked toward the road. The next morning, a wagon arrived to take her to the ranch. She climbed inside, her bag in her lap. She looked at the road ahead. She did not know what awaited her. She did not know if she would be treated well or poorly. She did not know if she would ever see her family again. But she knew one thing. Her life had changed forever. As the wagon moved forward, Martha held onto her bag and stared at the town disappearing behind her. She felt a mix of fear and determination. She did not know what the future would bring, but she promised herself she would not give up. She promised herself she would stay strong. She promised herself she would find a way to survive. And she knew, deep inside, that this was only the beginning of a story she did not yet understand. Martha rode in the wagon for most of the day. The road was long and dusty, and the wind blew through her hair. She watched the fields pass by, the same dry land she had left behind, but now everything felt different. It was not just the scenery that had changed. It was the feeling in her chest, the heavy weight of uncertainty that followed her like a shadow, tried to keep her thoughts calm, but her mind kept returning to her family. She wondered if her mother was okay. She wondered if her father was still strong. She wondered if her brothers were safe. She wondered if she had made the right choice by leaving. She felt guilty, even though she knew she had no other option. The wagon stopped at a small town for the night. The driver gave her some water and a simple meal. Martha ate slowly, her eyes scanning the room. She saw people laughing, talking, and living their lives without worry. She felt like she was watching a movie from the outside. She wondered if she would ever feel that free again. That night, she slept in the wagon. The stars were bright above her and the air was cool. She tried to rest, but her thoughts kept coming back. She imagined the ranch she was going to. She imagined the man she was going to live with. She imagined the work she would have to do. She tried to picture it all, but her mind could not create a clear image. The next morning, the wagon started again. Martha held her bag tightly and looked ahead. After several hours, they arrived at a large ranch. It was much bigger than her family's farm. The land was wide, with green pastures and tall trees. There were fences and barns, and in the distance she could see cattle grazing peacefully. Martha felt a strange feeling in her chest. It was not fear, but something else. It was curiosity. She had never seen a place like this. She had never seen so much land. She had never seen so many animals. She had never seen so many buildings. It was like stepping into a different world. The wagon stopped near the main house. Martha got down slowly, her legs weak from the long ride. She looked around, waiting for someone to come out. She felt her heart beat faster. She felt like a small child again, standing in front of a big building. A man came out from the house. He was tall and strong. He wore a simple shirt and jeans, and his boots were covered in dust. His face was serious, but his eyes looked calm. He walked toward Martha with slow steps, as if he was careful not to scare her. "Martha?" he asked. Martha nodded, her voice barely coming out. "Yes." He extended his hand, but he did not grab hers quickly. Instead, he waited for her to take it. When she did, his grip was firm but gentle. Martha felt a small sense of relief. She realized that this man was not rushing her. He was not forcing her to do anything. "I am Caleb," he said. "Welcome to my ranch." Martha looked at him carefully. She noticed his hands were rough, but his eyes were kind. She noticed he did not look angry or mean. She noticed he was not staring at her like she was a possession. He looked at her like she was a person. "Thank you," Martha said quietly. Caleb nodded and turned to the wagon driver. He spoke for a moment. Then the driver left. Caleb looked back at Martha and said, "You must be tired. Come inside." The inside was clean and simple. There was a fireplace, a large table, and a few chairs. The walls had pictures of the ranch and the land. Martha felt the air inside was calm. It felt like a place where people worked hard, but also a place where people lived with respect. Caleb showed her a room where she could stay. It was small, but it had a bed and a window that looked out at the fields. Martha felt a small sense of comfort. It was not a luxury room, but it was clean and safe.
"You can rest," Caleb said.
"Tomorrow we will talk more." Martha nodded. She went to the room and sat on the bed. She looked out the window and saw the cattle grazing. She felt a strange mix of fear and hope. She did not know what would happen next, but she felt a small spark inside her. She felt that maybe, just maybe, this place could be different. That night, she slept better than she had in weeks. The bed was soft and the air was cool. She dreamed of her family, but the dreams felt less painful. She woke up with a small feeling of strength. The next morning, Caleb came to her room. He was carrying a small basket of food. He placed it on the table and said, "Good morning. I thought you might be hungry." Martha thanked him. She felt strange accepting food from him. She wondered if he was trying to make her feel comfortable or if he was trying to make her feel like she owed him something. But she decided to trust him because she had no other choice. After breakfast, Caleb took her outside. He showed her around the ranch. He introduced her to the workers. They were men and women who looked tired from hard work, but they were friendly. They greeted Martha with smiles, and she felt a small sense of belonging. Caleb explained the work that needed to be done. He said she would help with chores, such as feeding animals, cleaning, and helping in the house. Martha listened carefully. She had never done these tasks before, but she was willing to learn. "You do not have to do everything at once," Caleb said. "We will go slowly. I want you to feel comfortable." Martha felt a little surprised. She expected him to order her around, but he spoke kindly. She wondered why he was different from what she had heard. As the days passed, Martha began to learn the routines of the ranch. She woke up early in the morning, helped with the animals, and worked until the evening. The work was hard, but it was honest. She felt tired, but she also felt proud of herself. She realized she was capable of more than she thought. Caleb watched her closely, but he did not pressure her. He would sometimes help her with the tasks, showing her how to do things properly. He would correct her gently, not harshly. He would sometimes sit with her and talk, asking about her family and her life. Martha began to feel that Caleb was not cruel, but he was also not trying to become her friend. He was simply treating her like a person. One afternoon, Martha was feeding the animals when one of the workers approached her. His name was Thomas. He was a kind man with a gentle voice. "You are doing good," Thomas said. "You learn fast." Martha smiled slightly. "Thank you." Thomas looked at her and said, "I know this is hard, but you will get used to it. You are stronger than you think." Martha felt a small warmth in her chest. She realized she was not alone. She realized there were people here who respected her. That evening, Martha and Caleb sat on the porch. The sun was setting, and the sky was filled with orange and pink colors. The air was quiet, except for the sound of animals in the distance. Caleb spoke softly. "Martha, I know this is not the life you wanted. I know you did not choose this, but I want you to know something."
Martha looked at him, waiting. "I will not treat you like a servant," Caleb said.
"You are not my property. I want you to feel safe here."
"I want you to have choices." Martha felt tears rise in her eyes. She did not cry, but she felt a strong emotion inside her. She had never heard a man say such words. She had never heard someone treat her like a person with feelings and dreams.
"Why are you doing this?" Martha asked quietly.
Caleb looked at her. "Because it is the right thing to do. Because you did not deserve to be sold. Because you are a human being." Martha felt a deep sense of relief. She still felt scared, but she also felt a small hope. She realized that maybe this forced marriage could become something else. Maybe this place could become a home. Maybe she could find a way to build a new life. But even with hope, Martha could not forget the debt that had brought her here. She could not forget the pain of leaving her family. She could not forget the fear of the future. She wondered what would happen next. She wondered if she would ever be free. She wondered if she would ever be able to go back to her family. Martha did not know the answers, but she knew one thing. Caleb had given her something she had not expected. He had given her kindness. And kindness, for someone who had been treated like a thing, was a powerful gift. As the days went by, Martha began to feel stronger.
She began to feel that she could survive. She began to feel that she could build a life here, even if it was not the life she had dreamed of.
And she began to understand that sometimes, even the hardest situations can lead to unexpected hope. Martha's days on the ranch started to feel normal, but she still carried a heavy feeling inside her. The work was difficult, and she was still learning how to do things she had never done before. She often woke up with sore muscles, but she also felt a strange sense of pride. She was working hard, and she was not giving up. The ranch had a rhythm to it. The morning began with the sound of animals, the smell of hay, and the soft light of dawn. Martha would wake up early, eat a simple breakfast, and then join the others in the chores. She learned to feed the animals, to clean the stalls, and to mend broken fences. She learned to carry heavy buckets of water and to move quickly without wasting time. She learned to work with her hands and to trust her strength. Even though she was learning, Martha still felt like she was living in a world where she did not fully belong. She sometimes watched the other workers laughing together, sharing stories, and feeling like they had known each other for years. Martha felt like an outsider. She felt like someone who was not sure if she was welcome. She also felt the weight of her situation. She knew she was here because of a debt. She knew she was considered a wife, even though she had not chosen this. She knew people in town still talked about her. She knew some people saw her as a mistake, a bargain, or a problem. She knew that if she tried to leave, no one would support her. But despite the sadness and fear, Martha found small moments of happiness. She noticed the beauty of the ranch, the way the sun lit the fields in the morning, the way the wind moved through the trees, the way the animals looked calm and safe. She began to understand that the ranch was not only a place of work, but also a place where life continued. One afternoon, as Martha was feeding the horses, she noticed Caleb watching her from a distance. He stood near the barn, his arms crossed, his face serious. Martha felt a little nervous. She wondered if she had done something wrong. She wondered if he was unhappy with her. Caleb walked over to her slowly. He did not speak at first. He just watched her work. Martha kept her head down, trying to focus on the task. She did not want to make a mistake. After a moment, Caleb spoke. "You are doing well," he said. "You are learning fast." Martha looked up. She felt a small smile appear on her face. "Thank you." Caleb nodded. "I know this is not easy. I know you are still angry."
I know you are still scared. Martha's heart tightened.
She wondered how he could know. She wondered if he was watching her more closely than she realized. Caleb continued, "I want you to know something. You do not have to pretend with me. You do not have to act like you are okay if you are not."
Martha felt a strange emotion.
She had never been given permission to feel her feelings openly. She had always been expected to be strong, to hide her pain, to accept her fate. But Caleb was telling her it was okay to be honest. "I am not okay," Martha said quietly. "I miss my family. I miss my home."
I miss my life. Caleb nodded slowly.
"I understand. And I am sorry you had to go through this. I wish it had been different." Martha felt tears in her eyes, but she held them back. She did not want to cry in front of him. She did not want to show weakness. She wanted to be strong. Caleb looked at her for a moment, then said, "You are not alone here. If you ever need anything, you can come to me." Martha nodded. She felt a small warmth in her heart. She still did not trust him completely, but she felt that he was not trying to hurt her. She felt that he was trying to help. As the weeks passed, Martha continued to work. She became stronger. She became faster. She became more confident. She began to feel that she could survive in this place. She began to feel that she could build a life here. But then, one day, something happened that shook her world. A man from town arrived at the ranch. His name was Mr. Turner. He was the same man who had been involved in the debt. He was a tall man with a stern face and a voice that made people listen. He had come to check on the situation and to make sure the debt was being paid. Martha saw him arrive and felt her heart sink. She knew he represented the world she had left behind. She knew he represented the debt and the pain. She knew he represented the people who saw her as a problem. Mr. Turner walked into the house and spoke to Caleb. Martha could not hear everything they said, but she could tell the conversation was serious. She felt a cold feeling in her stomach. She wondered if her life was about to change again. After a while, Mr. Turner turned and looked at Martha. He walked toward her and spoke in a calm voice. "So, you are the one," he said, "the girl who was sold." Martha felt her face burn. She did not like the way he said it. It sounded like she was an object, like she was something he could buy and sell. "Yes," Martha said quietly. "Mr." Turner looked at her closely, as if he was judging her. "How do you like it here? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like you belong?" Martha felt anger rise inside her. She wanted to tell him to leave. She wanted to tell him that he had no right to ask her these questions. She wanted to tell him that she was not his property. But she did not say anything. She knew arguing would not help. She knew he had power, and she did not want to make things worse. Caleb stepped in front of her. He spoke firmly. "She is not your business. She is not a thing you can talk about. She is a person." Mr. Turner looked at Caleb, surprised. "She is my business," he said. "I paid the debt. I have the right to know what is happening." Caleb did not move. He looked Mr. Turner in the eye. "You may have paid the debt, but you do not own her. She is not a thing. She is a human being." Mr. Turner's face tightened. He did not like being challenged. He turned and walked away, but not before saying, "We will talk again soon." Martha felt her body shake. She was scared. She was angry. She was confused. She had never seen Caleb stand up to someone like that. She had never seen him defend her so clearly. She did not know what to think. That night, Martha could not sleep. She kept thinking about what had happened. She kept thinking about Mr. Turner's words. She kept thinking about the fact that she was still connected to the debt, even though she was on the ranch. She wondered if Caleb would be able to protect her. She wondered if the people in town would accept her. She wondered if she would ever truly be free. The next day, Caleb came to her and spoke gently.
"Martha," he said, "I know this is hard, but I want you to know that I will not let anyone treat you like that."
"I will not let anyone disrespect you." Martha looked at him. "But what can you do?" "He has power." Caleb nodded. "I know, but I will try. I will do what I can."
I will stand up for you.
Martha felt a small sense of hope. She realized that Caleb was not just kind, he was brave in his own way. He was willing to protect her, even if it was difficult. But Martha also knew that the situation was still complicated. She knew that she was still seen as a wife, even if Caleb treated her differently. She knew that her life was still tied to the debt and to the people who had sold her. She began to understand that her freedom would not come easily. She began to understand that she would have to fight for it, not with violence, but with courage, patience, and strength. Martha continued to work on the ranch. She continued to learn. She continued to grow stronger. She continued to hope, and she began to realize that sometimes the hardest struggles can lead to the strongest changes. She began to realize that her life was not over. She began to realize that she still had a chance to build something new. Even though she was still trapped in a difficult situation, Martha felt that she was no longer alone. She felt that she had someone who cared for her. She felt that she had a place where she could be safe. And she felt, deep inside, that her story was not finished yet. The days after Mr. Turner's visit were heavy. Martha could feel the tension in the air. The ranch continued its work, but the mood was different. The workers spoke quietly, and Martha noticed that some of them looked worried. She realized that they were not just worried for her, but for Caleb too. They knew Caleb had challenged a powerful man, and they knew that could cause problems. Martha tried to stay focused on her work. She kept feeding the animals, cleaning the stalls, and helping around the house. She kept her mind busy because she did not want to think about what might happen. But every time she saw Caleb, she could tell he was thinking about something serious. One evening, as the sun began to set, Caleb called Martha to the porch. He looked tired. His face was serious, and his eyes looked like they had not slept well. "Martha," he said, "I need to talk to you." Martha felt her heart beat faster. She wondered if something had happened. She wondered if Mr. Turner had returned. She wondered if Caleb was going to send her away. She walked slowly toward him and sat down. She waited, her hands folded in her lap. Caleb took a deep breath. "Turner is coming back," he said. "He says he wants to talk again." Martha felt a cold feeling in her stomach. "Why?" she asked. Caleb looked at her. "He says he wants to make sure everything is going well, but I think he wants more than that. He wants control." Martha felt anger rise in her chest. She wanted to say something, but she did not know what to say. She felt scared, but she also felt something else. She felt a growing strength inside her. She realized that she did not want to be controlled. She realized that she did not want to be treated like a thing. Caleb continued,
I have been thinking.
"I do not want you to be trapped here forever. I want you to have a choice." Martha looked at him, surprised. A choice? Caleb nodded. Yes, I want you to decide what you want. If you want to stay here, you can. If you want to leave, I will help you. I will make sure you are safe. Martha felt tears rise in her eyes. She had not expected him to say that. She had not expected him to give her a choice. She had not expected him to think about her feelings. I don't know what I want, Martha said softly. I am scared. I don't know if I can leave.
I don't know if I can stay.
Caleb nodded. I understand. But you do not have to decide now. You can take your time. Just know that you are not alone. Martha felt a small sense of comfort. She realized that Caleb was not trying to force her into anything. He was giving her space to think. He was giving her respect. The next day, Mr. Turner arrived again. He came with a few men, and his face looked even more serious than before. He walked into the ranch house and sat down at the table. Caleb sat across from him. Martha stood nearby, watching quietly. She felt her heart beating fast. She did not know what Mr. Turner would say. Mr. Turner spoke first. Caleb, I have been thinking, he said. You paid the debt, but you have not fully honored the agreement. Caleb raised his eyebrows.
What do you mean? Mr. Turner looked at Martha.
You are supposed to treat her as your wife. You are supposed to keep her in her place. But she is being treated like a worker. She is being given too much freedom. Martha felt her face burn. She could not believe he was saying this. She could not believe he was still trying to control her. She could not believe he was still treating her like a thing. Caleb stood up. She is not a thing, he said firmly. She is a person. She deserves respect. She deserves freedom. Mr. Turner leaned back in his chair. You are making a mistake, he said. If you do not follow the agreement, I will take her back. I will make sure she returns to her family. Martha felt her heart sink. The thought of going back to her family was not comforting anymore. She loved her family, but she also knew the pain and poverty they had faced. She knew what it had cost her to leave. She knew what it would mean to go back to that life. Caleb looked at Mr. Turner and said, You do not have the right to decide her life. You do not own her. You never did. The agreement was wrong from the beginning. Mr. Ball, Turner's face grew red. He stood up. You are stubborn, he said. You think you can change the world.
But you cannot. You will regret this.
Caleb did not back down. He stayed calm. Maybe I will regret it, he said. But I cannot live with myself if I let you treat her like a piece of property. Martha felt a new feeling in her chest. She felt proud of Caleb. She felt grateful. She felt something she had not felt in a long time. She felt hope. But the situation was still dangerous. Mr. Turner was powerful, and he was not someone who would easily accept defeat. Martha knew that. She could see it in his eyes. She could feel it in the way he spoke. After the meeting, Mr. Turner left the ranch. He did not say goodbye. He did not look at Martha. He simply walked away. Martha felt a mix of relief and fear. She was relieved that he had left. She was afraid of what he might do next. She knew he might return with more force. She knew he might try to use the law or the community against them. That night, Caleb sat with Martha on the porch again. The stars were bright and the air was cool. Caleb spoke softly. Martha, he said, I need to make a plan. We cannot wait for him to come again. We need to think of a way to protect you. Martha nodded. She felt a new sense of determination. She realized that she could not just wait. She had to take action. "What can we do?" Martha asked. Caleb thought for a moment. "We can go to the town," he said. "We can talk to people who know the law. We can find out what rights you have. We can find a way to make this official so no one can take you away." Martha felt a small hope. She realized that maybe there was a way to make her freedom real. She realized that maybe the law could help her if she found the right people. The next day, Caleb and Martha traveled to the town. Martha felt nervous. She had not been back since she left. She felt the eyes of people watching her. She felt the whispers. She felt the judgment. But she also felt a new strength. She felt that she was not the same person who had arrived at the ranch months ago. They met a man who knew the law. He was a kind lawyer who listened carefully to Martha's story. He asked questions and wrote notes. He explained that the agreement was not legal and that Martha had rights. He explained that a person could not be sold like property. He explained that the law could help her. Martha felt tears in her eyes. She felt a relief she had never felt before. She realized that she was not alone. She realized that she had people who could support her. The lawyer said he would help them. He said he would write a letter and speak to the right people. He said he would make sure that no one could take Martha away. Martha felt a new hope. She felt that her life might finally change. She felt that her freedom might finally become real. But she also knew that the journey was not over. She knew that there would still be challenges. She knew that Mr. Alpha Turner might not accept the law. She knew that she would still have to stay strong. As they returned to the ranch, Martha felt a new sense of courage. She looked at the fields and felt that they were not just land anymore. They were a place where she could build a future. They were a place where she could become free. And she knew that the next part of her story would be the most important one yet. The days after the visit to town felt different. Martha woke up with a new feeling in her chest. It was not fear, and it was not sadness. It was a small spark of hope. She still had worries, but she felt that something was finally moving in the right direction. Caleb continued to work on the ranch as usual, but he also spent time planning. He met with the lawyer again, and they discussed what could be done to protect Martha. The lawyer explained that the law would not allow a person to be treated as property. He explained that Martha could be considered a free person with rights, especially if she had a place to live and work and if she was not forced to leave. Martha listened carefully. She felt a mixture of relief and anxiety. She was relieved because the law could help her. She was anxious because she knew the process would take time. She knew that during that time, Mr. Turner could try to cause trouble, but Caleb did not let her worry alone. He stayed by her side, helping her feel safe. He reminded her that she did not have to face this alone. He told her that he believed in her and that he would support her no matter what. One morning, the lawyer came to the ranch with a document. He placed it on the table and said, "This is a formal statement. It says that Martha is free and has rights. It also states that no one can claim ownership over her."
Martha stared at the paper.
Her hands trembled. She felt tears in her eyes, but she did not cry. She felt like she was holding a key to a door that had been locked for a long time. "Is this real?" Martha asked. The lawyer nodded. "It is real. It will take time, but it will protect you. It will make it difficult for anyone to take you away." Martha felt a new sense of strength. She looked at Caleb and smiled. She felt grateful. She felt that her life was finally changing, but the peace did not last long. A few days later, Mr. Turner returned. This time he came with a different expression. He looked tired, but also angry. He walked into the ranch house and spoke without greeting anyone. "Caleb," he said. "I have heard about your plan. I have heard about the lawyer. I have heard about the document." Caleb stood up. "Yes. We are taking steps to protect her." Mr. Turner looked at Martha and said, "You think you can use the law to stop me? You think you can change what happened?" Martha felt her heart beat fast. She felt her hands shake. She wanted to speak, but she did not know what to say. Caleb looked at Mr. Turner calmly. "The law is clear," he said. "You cannot claim ownership of a person. You cannot treat her as a thing. She is free." "Mr. Bran, Nah." Turner's face turned red. "You are making a mistake," he said. "You will regret this." Martha felt a cold feeling in her stomach. She knew he was angry, but she also knew that he was losing control. She could see it in his eyes. She could see that he did not like the idea of losing power over her. Mr. Turner left the ranch again, but this time, he did not look back. Martha felt a sense of relief, but she also knew that this might not be the end. She knew that he could return again. That night, Martha sat on the porch with Caleb. The sky was filled with stars, and the air was quiet. Martha felt the cool breeze on her face. She looked at Caleb and said, "I don't know what will happen next." Caleb nodded. "I know," he said, "but we have done the right thing. We are not wrong. We are not alone." Martha felt a deep feeling of gratitude. She realized that Caleb was not only a kind man, but also a brave one. He had stood up for her when no one else would. He had risked his reputation and his safety to protect her. She realized that he had changed too. He had grown from a man who was quiet and distant into someone who cared deeply. The next weeks passed slowly. Martha continued to work on the ranch. She continued to learn and grow. She continued to build a life for herself. She felt stronger every day. She felt that she was not just surviving, but living. She also began to think about her future. She began to think about what she wanted. She began to think about her dreams. One day, she was working in the garden when Caleb came to her. He had a small smile on his face. "Martha," he said, "I have something to ask you." Martha looked at him, surprised. "What is it?" Caleb took a deep breath. "I want to ask if you would like to stay here, not because you have to, but because you want to. I want to ask if you would like to be my partner." Martha felt her heart beat fast. She was surprised, but she also felt a warmth in her chest. She looked at Caleb and saw the sincerity in his eyes. I don't know what to say," Martha said softly. "I never expected this." "I never expected someone to ask me like that." Caleb nodded. "I understand." "You don't have to answer now." "Take your time." Martha looked at the fields, the animals, the house, and the land. She thought about her life before. She thought about the pain she had felt. She thought about the strength she had found. She thought about the kindness Caleb had shown. She realized that she had grown. She realized that she had become someone who could make choices. She realized that she was not just a girl who had been sold. She was a woman who had survived and learned and changed. Martha looked at Caleb and said, "I want to stay. I want to build a life here, but I want to stay because I choose to, not because I have to." Caleb smiled. He looked relieved and happy. "That is all I wanted," he said. "I want you to be free. I want you to be happy." Martha felt tears in her eyes. She did not feel weak. She felt strong. She felt proud of herself. She felt like she had finally found a place where she belonged. In the following months, Martha and Caleb worked together. They made the ranch stronger. They planted new crops. They repaired fences. They worked on the house. They made plans for the future. The workers began to see Martha differently. They saw her as a partner, not as a servant. They saw her as someone who belonged. They saw her as a strong woman who had earned her place. Martha also began to write letters to her family. She told them about her life on the ranch. She told them that she was safe. She told them that she was free. She wrote about the kindness she had received. She wrote about the hope she felt. Her family wrote back. They were happy to hear from her. They were proud of her. They told her that they were trying to rebuild their farm and their lives. They told her that they missed her. Martha felt a deep sense of peace. She knew that her family was still facing difficulties, but she also knew that they were strong. She knew that she had done what she had to do to help them. She knew that her sacrifice had not been in vain. One evening, as the sun set, Martha stood on the porch and looked at the land. She thought about her journey. She thought about the day she was sold for a debt. She thought about the fear she felt when she arrived at the ranch. She thought about the kindness she had received. She thought about the law that helped her. She thought about the choices she had made. She realized that her story had changed. She realized that her life had changed. She realized that she had turned a difficult situation into a chance for freedom. She looked at Caleb, who was working nearby, and felt grateful. She felt that he had given her a second chance. She felt that he had shown her that even in the darkest moments, there could be light. Martha smiled softly. She knew that her future was not perfect, but it was hers. She knew that she had finally found freedom, not only from the debt, but also from fear. And she knew that her story would always be a reminder that even when life seems unfair, a person can still find strength, hope, and a way to change their own fate.